Hi everybody, welcome to Foundations of Teaching. This is Mrs. Frey and this is Module 1 of Foundations of Teaching. This course truly is for you to become an effective teacher. We're going to cover multiple topics such as, let me see, pull it up here. We're going to talk about best practices, special populations, classroom management. So those are the three basic components of this course. Now, the textbooks that you need are the Borage book, which you should have from CUIN, all right? And it's the Effective Teaching Methods. I know some of y'all have the 8th edition, which I'm trying to get myself. And then the Tools for Teaching, which you were using in the other class as well. So these are the two textbooks that you'll need. Now let's just go through the checklist and look at the assignments so I can explain some of them to you. This course is a little bit different than the other one that you've done. Let me see if I can find that. Okay. All right, Mrs. Frey, one moment. And then I'm going to put you on screen capture so we can go through this together and you can actually see the documents. So here we go. Okay, the Effective Teacher, Module 1. All right, let me pull this up for us. Okay, so the first thing you're going to do is read chapters 1 through 4, which you may have already done. Let me put this on capture screen. You may have already done that because the Jones book is just so fun to read. He's hysterical. He has the best sense of humor, and you can completely relate with him, or at least I can. All right, so let's go find yours. Here we go, Module 1. Okay, so you are going to read chapters 1 through 4. I'm sorry, chapters 1 through 4 of the Borage book. In those chapters, if you have a different edition, the chapters, let me give you the titles of the chapters, since I don't have the new one. What is, the Effective Teacher is chapter 1. Chapter 2 is Understanding Your Students. Chapter 3 is Goals and Setting Standards, Goals, Standards, and Objectives. And number 4 is Unit and Lesson Planning. Okay, so I know these are big, huge chapters, but try to do the best you can because you do have quizzes over them. You'll notice in this this actual unit, you actually have self-check quizzes, and the computer actually grades these. I don't, but if you'll notice, the first one is over chapters 1 and 2, and the second one is over chapters 3 and 4. So what I would do is read chapters 1 and 2, take the first quiz, and then take the second quiz after I've read 3 and 4. Okay, once you launch the quiz, you do have to take it, and I have to take whatever grade you get. Okay, so then you've got, after you do that, go read the Fred Jones's chapters 20 through 13. I think that's supposed to be 20 through 23. That's not... Oh, good Lord. Yeah, it's supposed to be 20 through 23, not 20... 13. All right, I'm going to change that for us. I'll fix that myself. All right, so it's 20 through 23 on the Fred Jones books. Okay, and then you're going to, after you get all that read, let's go see what the Code of Ethics looks like. So, hold on. Okay, so the Code of Ethics assignment is it's a discussion board, and you will scroll down and click on the link to the Code of Ethics governing educators. Please read through the code. Next, reflect on the Code of Ethics governing educators to ethical standards that you were held. Reflect upon the Code of Ethics governing standards to ethical standards that you were held to from a previous job outside of education. If you have no work experience outside of education, research an ethics code for a profession to enable you to participate in this assignment. So all you have to do is go and look at the actual Code of Ethics for educators, and then think about your employee handbooks from your previous jobs and see if you can scrounge anything up. Even if you're working, let's say, in a different position right now, go see if you can't find some Code of Ethics for that as well. because I know a lot of companies have included, even my students that work at Whataburger, they say they have to sign a piece of paper saying they will not say anything disparaging on Facebook about Whataburger. And that's part of the code of ethics, that you will not, disparage your workplace in social media. All right, so which is fascinating to me, considering how far we've come. Then you've got the book study assignment, producing responsible behavior, and read chapters 20 through 23. And then you're going to reflect on, this is great. This is the preferred activity time, or the PAT, which is what is called throughout the book, is the PAT, preferred activities time for students, something that they earn. And you're going to reflect on that and how you can use that to produce responsible behavior within the classroom. So it doesn't look like you have much to cover, but really you've got quite a bit of reading to do, and you've also have your discussion board and your book study. But before you start any of that, I want to make sure that you go and look at the Effective Teacher PowerPoint. Okay, let's open this in a new tab. I would like to go through this with you for a moment. So let's look at this. Come on, big money. Okay, here we go. And hold on, it's coming. Wait for it. My computer is so slow. I keep asking my husband for a new one, but it's not in the budget yet. And of course, he works for HP, so we have to buy an HP computer. Don't tell him I told you any of this, although it'll be out there on the internet. Okay, so keep going, and here. Okay, so here are effective teaching strategies, research-based practice. Okay, so let's look at this. Slideshow view. Come on, big money. Okay, what characteristics determine effective teachers? And you have got the 5 main characteristics: personality, attitude, experience, aptitude, and achievement. All right, so you've got those 5 components. Then the behavior, effective teacher key behaviors: lesson clarity, exhibits clear instruction to students who may be at different levels of understanding. Well, that's just a given. We have to do that nowadays, don't we? Because schools are getting away from tracked classes. All right. Explains concepts in a logical step-by-step order, and demonstrates an oral delivery that is clear, concise, and audible to all students in the class. And this just makes me think about my one of my university professors who would mumble and whistle through his voice, and it was my biology class, and it was a class of probably 200 students at Sam Houston, and he seemed so knowledgeable, but he would stand up there with these transparency, and I swear to you, he whistled when he spoke, and I could not concentrate because I couldn't understand him half the time because he didn't keep his voice up. And then when he would speak, he would whistle, and I'll never forget that as long as I live. I did struggle with that class and had to get lots of extra tutoring, but I made it through it. All right, lesson clarity example, science experiment. You need to have an auditory explanation of the activity, a visual demonstration with students, written steps to be completed in the experiment. So you've got to have that step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, and then hands-on experiment for the students to actually complete themselves. Effective teacher key behaviors for instructional variety. Demonstrates using a wide variety of materials, equipment, and displays in different learning contexts. This is where your technology comes in, because technology really does help to vary instruction, and it's such a great tool with all the apps that are out now, and the fact that many campuses have at least 1 to 2 sets of iPads or some kind of tablet that student can use. Even if it's a very small assignment, you need to figure out ways to work that into your instruction. I mean, even if it's only a 10-minute activity. If you can engage your students' solid attention for 10 minutes out of 50, you've done a good job, because we are competing against the world. And you just need to remember that it's hard for them to pay attention more than 17 minutes, actually. Okay, so let's go back. I didn't mean to get ahead of myself. All right. Okay, so we know we got to vary instruction. So here's some examples. Visual, challenging question, a startling statistic, tell a story, just like I told you about my professor that whistled, a personal example. Teacher task orientation demonstrates focused instructional activities for students, exhibits high-level questions, reflection and engagement, demonstrates using effective formal and informal assessments, and adjusting instruction based on those needs. All right. Teacher task orientation example. So you've got instruction, assessment, and alignment. And this is why we have the text or the TEKS, depending on where you are in Texas, is what they call them. And this is why we have the text, is because they basically are to help you align your instruction and your assessment. We want everything aligned at all times. The days of busy work are gone. It needs to have meaning. Engagement in the learning process exhibits the amount of time students are actively engaged in the learning process, not detached or mentally disengaged from the process. Engagement in learning example. So here's your learning engagement. And then you've got rules and routines, teacher monitoring, instruction versus procedures, interesting assignments, and abundant resources. These are all things to keep them engaged. Students want those rules and routines. They want to know exactly how to be successful in your classroom. Think of it as on-the-job training. They need the tools to know how to be successful in your classroom. All right, student success rate example. So you've got school allotted time, teacher instructional time, student engaged time, and then the last ring that goes out here is your student success rate. So you've got to have those 3 prior components to end up with your student success rate. All right, the pyramid. Let's look at this. Helping behaviors impact key behaviors. So you've got using student ideas and contributions, the art of questioning, which is such a great art to possess. You've got to be able to take the students from lower level questions to higher level questions. Structuring, probing, and teacher affect. You want to be excited. You don't want a teacher that is not excited about teaching the material. One of my teachers, actually my coordinating teacher, who was at that time my mentor teacher, they called it coordinating teacher back then, she actually told the students before we actually read Rikki Tikki Tavi in 7th grade. I was student teaching in 7th grade. She actually told the students that she hated the story. And I couldn't believe she did it. I remember standing there with my mouth open, going, why would you tell them that? Because then the students who do like it, that makes them feel bad because they're looking to you as an adult and they want your approval. It's like, well, I can't like that. Mrs. Frey doesn't like it. Or you've got the students that don't like it and they're like, well, she didn't like it, I don't like it, what's the important, who cares? And then they just shut down on you. So find some way, if you don't necessarily care for, which is perfectly human, care for the concept or what you're covering, find some way to make it interesting to you, and in turn, that will make it interesting to the student. But please don't tell the student you don't like the lesson or the story or whatever it is you're covering. Find a way to make it exciting. All right, helping lower SES populations achieve success. So you've got this, socioeconomic barriers, and you've got teacher affect, student responses, content organization, classroom instruction, and individualization. Professional teaching standards. These are great. This shows you some websites that you can go to find the professional teaching standards. Of course, you've got the National Board, the Interstate Curriculum Board, Assessment and Support Consortium, and then, of course, you've got the Texas State Board of Educator Certification, which I'm sure all of you are familiar with because you have to go on there and see if you got your certificate or not. Okay, transition to the real world of teaching. Come on. Go on. Why can't I get it to move? Okay. I'm sorry, you guys. There we go. Survival stage, okay? Focused on their own well-being, not the teaching task of learners. Teaching task stage, focused on how to deliver instruction to student. And impact stage is focused on the impact of teaching on learning. And all of this is covered in your reading as well. So these are the three different stages that you're going to see in the reading. All right. So there you go for the effective teacher. So after you have gone through that, I would suggest that you go ahead and knock out your quizzes at the beginning of the week, and then by Thursday, then you can start working. Of course, by Thursday you want to get your discussion board posted, and then your book study assignment posted by Sunday. So just get that reading and the quizzes knocked out. Please don't wait until the very last minute, and then you're scrambling and you don't do as well on the quizzes as you thought you would do, and it just becomes this whole big thing. So if you have any questions, please email me and I will see what I can do to help. If not, have a great week, and I will see you all next week.